Good morning, student. Today we are going to learn about electrophoresis, a new chapter. So let us learn about the introduction, what basically electrophoresis does and how does it separates the ions. So if we look into the practical terms, there is something called positive electrode and something called negative electrode, and that makes a cell. So positive electrode is anode and negatively electrodes is cathode, and it's oftenly very confusing term, anode and cathode, and what carries a positive charge, what carries a negative charge, and cations and anions, right? So make sure that you remember cation is a anode is a positive charge electrode, whereas anion is a negatively charged ions. Cathode is negatively charged cathode, whereas cation is positively charged ions. So these are the general term used here. So in a practical term, you must know about what is electrode and what is cathode, what is cations and what is anion and ions. So then a voltage is applied across the electrode. So solute of different charges, for example ions negative, cation positive, will move through the solution towards the electrode of opposite charges. So I have tried to show you the migration of the charges, migration of the ions here with respect to their charges. You look anode, a positive charge electrode, the negative ions are migrating, whereas in cathode, which is negatively charged, cations are, uh, anions are moving. So when you look into the migration of these charges, you will see that the migration is not uniform. Some of the negative charges are moving very fast or is moving faster as compared to the other negatively charged, and similar phenomenon is even observed in positively charged ions. So it is moving with a different speed. So it makes us that what is this governing the migration or the movement of the ions. So we will see with the principle of electrophoresis. So here it is electrophoresis is a movement of ion under the influence of electric field. So separation of electrophoresis relies on difference in the speed of migration of ions of a solid. So migration velocity is directly proportional to electrophoretic mobility and electric field or electric strength applied. So each of the cation will find a similar sort of electric field when you apply, but so this become a non-relevant here for the separation of the ions, because each of them are getting the same electric field. So what is more important here you have to look is electrophoretic mobility. So electrophoric mobility is a factor that determines how fast ion or a solute moves in a given medium. So electrophoric mobility depends upon the charge which the ions is carrying, the radius and the viscosity of the medium in which it is placed. So you can see it here, what is Q. So charge of an ion is directly proportional to electrophoric mobility, and radius is indirectly proportional to electrophoric mobility. So the charge, if you look into the sodium, potassium, if you look in sodium, potassium and lithium, they all has got equally charged ions, all is carrying one. Whereas if you look into the migration of lithium is much higher as compared to sodium and the potassium. Then again anomaly comes, right? The answer is sodium. We'll see the reason, or you can find out the reason why. So you look here, if you look into the size of lithium is the smallest here, but answer is not lithium. Just check it out, the reason behind it. Uh, so I mean, and the charge is similar. And now look here, the sodium, calcium, and aluminum, which has got a maximum size. Which has got a maximum charge here, alumina, right? But when you look into the size here also, which is as you go down, I mean, as you go down, the size is increasing, and if you go towards the group, right, the size is decreasing, right? So If you look into the sodium is 11, 12 is magnesium, aluminum. So aluminum will have maximum, aluminum plus 3 charge will have maximum migration here. Here I have tried to, so that was the previous was the principal part of the uh, electrophoresis, and now I have tried to do the comparison between uh, chromophoric or chromatophoric items and the electrophoretic items migration, right? So look here how this suppression are different. In electrophoresis you need a current, it is under the influence of potassium potential difference, whereas in it is not there in the term of chromatography. The suppression happen there with the help of mobile phase, where here it happens with the help of applied potential difference and the buffer. That is a called retention time. Here it's a migration time. There you here is a electrophoretic mobility which governs. There is a column capacity factor which still has to be discussed. I will discuss about the column capacity factor in the coming classes, or when I go to the HPLC or gas chromatography, there I will discuss about what is column capacity factor. And here high voltage power supply is needed. There you have a pump, and here there is a capillary, there is a column. So just again then I have seen a electromigration of ion to the cation and to the anion. Now you can understand why it is moving with a different speed. The reason is electrophoretic mobility, which governed by the charge and the size of the molecule, size of the ions. Now let us see about the structure and the structure and properties of a protein. Here I have tried to show the way how does the suppression happen in a protein. Protein is basically a polymer of amino acid, right? And it is amphoteric in nature. So amphoteric in nature means it carries both positively charged and negatively charged, because if you look into the carboxylic acid COO minus, whereas you see into amino it carries a NH2 plus. The migration of H of the carboxylic acid goes and attached to the amino groups present. So it becomes a amphoteric molecule. It makes a amphoteric molecules. It's neither a positively charged or negatively charged. But when overall charge you see in protein, it can be classified into negatively charged or positively charged proteins. So in that cases, how does a suppression happen? So the suppression happen in negatively charged protein move towards the positive pole, whereas positively charged will move towards the negative pole, directly proportional to overall charge of the protein. How is the overall charge of the protein? And inversely proportional to the protein size, which we have done in electrophoretic. We have seen in the principle of electrophoresis. Now after the suppression of amino acid, you have got an electropherogram, right? This in this you can see the suppression of protein, it has happened. Thank you.